Hello. So in this video, I'd like to talk about masking in Illustrator. So let's see. First thing we're going to do is just create something to mask. So I'm going to Alt drag and then hit Command D. What Command D will do is just repeat the last transformation. So now I got a bunch of lines and I'm going to group them together. All right, so if I want to mask in Illustrator, what I can do is, I'm going to use this little shape here as a mask. Smaller, right there. And how it works is whatever's in front, maybe I'll make this just a different color for a moment. Whatever's in front is what's going to be the mask. So right now my lines are in front of this shape here, and I want to mask it in this shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Object, Arrange, Send to Back, and the hotkey for that is Command Shift Back, and then in Windows I think it's Control Shift Back. All right, then I grab this, then I grab my shape, and I go Object, Clipping Mask, Make. All right. And now, if I double click on my clipping mask, I can go in and scale and reposition my. I can also, so if we look here, it shows layer, clipping group. It kind of, it's taking us kind of further into this hierarchy here. If I click again, I can go right to the group itself. And I can, like, let's say, move individual boxes or what have you. I can keep kind of going further and further along. And then if I double click over here, I reset the selection. So here, I'm going to go in one level, reposition it, 2 levels. Now I'm in the group, and this, what if I wanted to, let's say, put it on a different colored background? So once again, I'll make some color for this, blue, send it to the back. And now see, I'm in the clipping group, and then I went further into the group itself, and then I double click, and then it's out there. All right. So you can alter what's masked. You can add things to what's masked. You can manipulate the things that are masked pretty easily. All right. So let's get out of that for a second. Just going to revert. Okay. Another thing so you can clipping mask into shapes, and that's awesome. You can also, in Illustrator, clipping mask into active type. So this is something you can't do in InDesign. So let's make, so we're gonna do the same thing. Just gonna repeat something. So Alt drag. I'll show you another way to do this, more sophisticated way to do this in a minute, but for now we're just looking at masking. And I'll give it a color just so we can see what's happening here. I send it to the back, and here I can grab my actual text, and I can say Object, Clipping Mask, Make. Okay, and then the difference between Illustrator and InDesign is now I can change this to another character. All right, and I can't do that in InDesign. All right, so there's one other way to mask in Illustrator, and this might be handy in the future. It's not really where I want you to go at the moment with our project, but you can use the luminance values as a mask. So let me show you what I mean. All right, so let's say this DE glyph is a gradient. So I'm going to go to the gradient tool and click on it, and nothing happens. Why? Well, you can only apply a gradient to a shape. So if I go Command Shift 0 and turn the gradient tool on, now it works. All right. All right, so then what I'm going to do is move my red lines, send them to the back. And what I want to do is use these values from white to black here as an opacity for my red lines. So what you do is you go to Window, Transparency, and then with the thing you want to mask in back, and then the thing to mask it with. So I'm going to grab this, I grab that, and I'm going to say Transparency Make Mask. And what this does, so if I put another color background, it blends. It uses the opacity in the DE, the black and white values to mask the shape, right? So white is opaque, black is transparent. I can release it if I want to futz around with this a little. For example, have the black be here. I'm going to make the black really black. Back my mask again. And now it disappears a little quicker. All right, so that's a overview of masking in Illustrator.